do we get from 10 to 18, right? The Pioneers Valley Housing Needs Assessment thing that we do, we have 2 invoices.
I think 10 was missed.
On the bottom of your front. Talking about this right here.
Okay, but he's actually going to do it.
There is no change. We have an invoice number 10 for $4,768 million and invoice 18
No, for 6,000.
for $6,000. So
There's two. There's one for administrator. Administrative activity. This is for Pioneer Valley Planning, and this is for.
This is Pioneer Valley.
There's 2 bills, 10 and 18.
Yeah. So somehow, I mean, we wouldn't.
I really think that 10 was missed
10
by
was
the
missed.
planning
Yeah.
in sending it to us.
Should be 10 and 11.
All right.
So,
We have a motion to take invoice number 10 for $4,768.94, and invoice number 18 for $6,277.
all in favor? And now Charlie's here. And this is considered overtime for the public. We're behind schedule, Charlie, so can I summarize for you?
Yes,
The Conservation Committee is applying for a land grant to acquire part of, or all of the greenway, and it needs to be in by tomorrow morning. Charlie's going to hand deliver it. There's no cost to the town at this point in time. We're just making the application. I would accept a motion or to sign this,
So moved.
I make a motion to sign the application for the grant from the Greenway.
and if anybody has any questions, we can ask Charlie right now.
Second.
There's no financial cost to the town at this point.
At this point,
Will there be in the future?
well, we're going to have an open meeting or a town meeting in the fall to present, as we did for Wolf Hill, a bond issue covering the cost, dependent on whether we get the grant. It won't come through till later in the year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have reviewed this in front of the CDC, and we'd like to come back in April West, myself, and Mike, we let me review it, so the next meeting.
I'll let you know.
No,
I'll let you know. I'll let you know exactly when and what time and so forth.
You give me.
Okay, can I copy it to you?
Just the cover letter.
Why do we can't?
Yeah, she
Okay, cool.
I'll be there.
See you, Charlie. Charlie. What else we got? Town accountant? Town accountant. Oh, wait a minute, I got one more signature. Oh, that was this. Everybody signed this, so that goes to it. All right, town accountant. I will surrender the floor to whoever wants to talk about it.
I'll make a comment about the town's position, about town accountant position. I think we need the position now. I think we need to make an appointment tonight, considering it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before that person will be in there. I'm not in favor, my own personal feelings, I'm not in favor of Hampshire cog at all. I think that's a 2-day service is not what we need. I think we need, like we talked in prior meetings, that we need to have an on-hands person here that can go with the town and to adapt to changes and to improve our way of doing things on a more full-time basis than what we have with 2 days a week with Hampshire cog.
I agree with that.
All right, so then we have 2, if everybody's in agreement that Hampshire cog, and I'm ambivalent, I'm not going to say I'm against it, but I'm just ambivalent, so.
I'm with Mike. I look at the cost savings with benefits and stuff, but that's...
Other than that, so...
I know the finance committee was very interested in having somebody here full-time on the spot. I think that's important.
That being said, that leaves us with 2 candidates. Does anybody want to speak on the candidates?
I think we have 2 good candidates.
Yeah, we do.
I think they're both adequate. Jackie, you were going to do some background?
Right, I had talked to both candidates, and they sent in their references, and she had called and had this excellent form and talked to, and they're in their packets, the responses to the references, and Derek had actually sent in some references that are here too, in your packet.
Okay. This is on, oh, you did forward too, right? Yes.
Is Derek have one?
This is giving the response.
Did you get the questions done for
Right here.
Derek as well?
No, because he had his references.
Okay.
He had
This
this
sent,
thing.
okay, these are the,
We don't have it written.
no, the responses are right here.
Or was it verbal on the phone?
Yes. Where'd you call? Here's one. And this is, these are the, yeah.
Well, I'd make a motion to appoint Derek as the new town accountant.
I'll second it.
I have a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
I think the way Derek described his experience and his interest in the town, and that all kind of made a difference in his description 2 weeks ago. And he's very comfortable, of course, having worked with our finance committee, and I think that's a big step in the right direction. And although I thought the other candidate was very personable, and she didn't have municipal experience, and I think that's a big, with the laws and the regulations, I think that's...
Well, I think she had, she dealt with the school system and all, so she had municipal experience.
But, town municipality, which apparently...
Well, she works for the city of Ohio, but, the same DOR runs both. I'm just saying.
And I think, isn't the accounting for town municipality different? Kind of a little more...
They still have to report to the same format. I'm just saying that she did have some. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
All right, so I have a motion and a second for Derek. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Would you send the young lady who, letter?
The New Hampshire Council.
Yeah, New Hampshire Council.
Is Eileen still here?
Well, we need to have a negotiating session to set the terms of his contract. Since Derek is here, why don't we pick... I guess the question would be, when would you like to start?
Just gotta get something in writing, and I can put my 2 weeks in.
Well, we'll send you something tomorrow offering you the position of town accountant subject to contract negotiations. And then give us a date when you'd like to start, and we'll have a session before then to come to terms of the contract.
Your next meeting is executive sessions on the 17th, which is the unions. I don't know if you want to...
Yeah, we have to, because I think the position, I was talking to Donna and people involved with the accounting business, we're behind the 8 ball in a lot of areas. We need to get going.
Not only that, but there's the accountant school is coming up in August, and I don't know if it's the first or the second week. And so, I think it would be great
All right.
if we had...
We'll have a session on July 17th.
Well, it's already scheduled, but I'd like to, if Derek is available on the 17th, come in. I don't know exactly what time yet. I'll have to get back to you on that, but is that an okay date for you? Okay.
All right.
So
In the past, you've negotiated with the person prior to their hiring, that way they know what they're getting.
I don't know how we can do that in this case.
Was it arranged, or was it?
Well, actually, we've offered him the position subject to contract negotiations.
Okay.
We'll finalize the position on the 17th.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
Not to
And we just need some numbers, Reggie, from like what Dave was making, what the average.
That's not relevant.
Whatever was posted.
There was a range posted.
I don't know what was the range, I don't know.
I don't know if it was 20 to 35 or
35,
25
I
to
think, was the
30.
top.
35.
35 was the top.
Is it count as a department head? Because it's,
Yes.
Well, there's a question. I mean, you're saying yes, but there's been questions with the Policy Procedures Board. And we have a lot of department heads that not necessarily were supposed to be considered department heads. And a department head, when it was first determined as a department head, had several people working under them, not one or two. And this benefit of the extra week has turned into a nightmare because we have a lot of people
Everybody's
assuming
assuming
that
they're-
the department heads and that. So
Right.
we need to clarify that in the future, which is
We need to-
not on the current radar.
We need to do a flow chart as to who reports to who.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that, okay?
You have any questions?
No, I'm good. I can wait until next week.
All right.
Okay.
try to remain calm.
All right, we need, we're falling behind a lot here. The other thing we need to discuss under Reggie is the school roof thing.
Yes.
Did everybody get the email from
Yes.
Derek on the brain?
Who's the
I was surprised, they need our approval to move forward with this?
No,
No, I didn't think so.
I had
We
Reggie
already
call.
voted on it
Yeah.
at the last, on the 26th meeting. The select board already voted to support it. So the next step was to schedule an election. So Eileen and I sat down and we picked the date of August 13th. But in an email that I think I forwarded to you guys, August 5th was the deadline, but he said a later town vote after August 5th is acceptable to MSBA, but it shortens the time available to complete the feasibility study and schematic designs and still make the December 12th deadline.
So, but it's within their time parameters.
Yes.
So I think what we need to do now is take a vote tonight to schedule a town election, and you discuss a town meeting with Eileen.
Yeah, and I also talked with Lisa LaCroix from the school. They're okay with both dates.
What's the date on the town meeting?
What's the day of the week?
The election is on a Monday, on August 13th, and the fall special town meeting is on a Tuesday on September 18th. Can you
This
remind
would be
me?
one question if it passes, right?
Yeah.
If it passes, a
For the
question.
election, one question.
Okay, but is there any other
Remind me what the
questions?
election is.
It's the,
I
for the,
remember this a couple of weeks ago, but just tell me again.
What? Because it would be a debt exclusion, we have to have an election and a town meeting. The election is by simple majority, the town meeting would be by, is that, or vice versa, I forget how it goes.
Election and then a town meeting.
Correct.
Yes, okay, now I remember. This is the debt exclusion for the roof of the school.
Before we go any further, you know, we're throwing things out to the power of democracy. Does the PTO know about this election? And what is being done to sort of support this? If we're gonna move forward, we gotta know there's some support for this. It's $500 to have an election, it's real money.
And I think the school's got to muster, at this point in time, we need to vote these dates so that we lock them in.
and we'll get the word out there.
Yeah, but you gotta make sure the school committee makes sure they call the PTO and get some people to show.
But that's their ball wax to carry, not ours.
Sure, they'll get people. They only need 25.
So what I need now is a motion on town election on August 13th for the question of whether or not to do the roof and the debt exclusion, and a town meeting on the 18th of September.
Second.
Both dates?
Yeah.
All in favor?
So, election on the 13th.
Would you send a letter up to the superintendent's office telling them we took a vote, scheduling both items?
Sure, sure.
And they need to get us
She's working with me with the wording on what to put on the ballot.
on the ballot and the warrant
What
article.
was the
Yes.
second date?
The 18th, September 18th.
So the 18th is the
The town meeting.
September 18th.
So you should also send out to all department heads that
Yes.
we're having a special town meeting if they need anything covered on that,
When's the last day that we can put the warrant up?
2 weeks before.
Correct, 14
What day
days.
is that?
Well, by my quick Catholic school math skills, that would be September 4th.
Yeah.
Very good. Sisters would be proud of you.
They would be.
Michael.
That explains a lot. You went to,
I went all my, everything.
I did too.
12, 13, 14, I think I was the first,
You went to Hood Catholic though.
I went to Blessed Sacrament. I started.
That's elementary.
I was the first full-time kindergartner.
In the round
I'm
church?
surprised you didn't become, a priest.
Monsignor Michael Schumann?
Yeah, I don't think so. What else do we have to do?
I have,
stop.
Supplement and Page are
Righteous.
offering free seminars.
These seminars?
Free seminars for the town of Southampton. And on that letter to Mr. Sacco regarding the public record request, town council recommended that we schedule that date as soon as possible. So I would like to throw a date out there of September 11th, which is a Tuesday evening, for the open meeting law trainings.
Well, I have a question. The question I have is, they promised us 2 or 3 other free seminars, which we never got. And I think, at several meetings, I insisted that we get these scheduled and done, and I would like to get that in the pipeline
That's
too.
part of it. That's what I'm talking about, is the free seminars that they were
I'm talking
offering.
about the ethics laws, the drugs in the workplace and stuff like that.
The department head meetings to go over.
Whatever we can get, as far as I'm concerned.
The second topic is, what would you like?
Well, you want this, or
I reached out to everybody asking, what would you like?
Whatever you want.
But it should be a department head meeting, so other people get exposed, not just us.
Yeah.
Box of rocks. It should be.
Well, I think this is a very important one, conflict of interest.
How many are we entitled to? 2? So this would be 2.
Well, open meeting law is 1 for free.
And then we one other one or 2 other ones?
One other.
One other, so then conflict of law.
Okay.
All right, I get to look at it.
Oh, here
Don't
you go.
count.
I'm sorry.
King Edward the First doesn't get to.
Keep it up.
They already call him the mayor, so what do you want? What else you got?
I didn't do a report, I didn't have time, but I did
That's
a
okay.
quick little update for you guys.
Must be.
Are all these people requesting to go to all these different ones?
All right, wait a minute, let's get focused on getting this done. It's 9 o'clock.
5-Star called a couple days ago, and there's an outstanding balance of $18.20 that the town owes 5-Star.
Not you,
No, let it finish
Well,
out.
Mr. Perrier's had a conversation with Ed, and there's a disagreement, I guess, in regards to the electrical vault that was moved several times. Our highway department has completed that work in moving the vault, but Mr. Perrier says that they purchased the product, so therefore they should be owed that money.
In response to that it was sent to D.A. Sullivan, the clerk of the works, and the manager of the project, and also to the building needs committee. They both rejected those. We put them down as credits. We paid everything we owed to them based on D.A. Sullivan's. He wants the $1,800, and I'm refusing to pay it because we did the work, and let him take us to court. That's my feeling.
I don't have a problem with that.
Next.
Next, the air conditioning is not working at Town Hall, but Ed and I have been working with this one where the highway department fellows are constantly resetting the condensing units in the units upstairs in the attics. So S&E recommended calling in a heating and air conditioning tech to work with them to figure out what is going on and why the units are not working.
Okay.
And it's all of the units, it's not just one.
But
Unit 3 is the one that trips.
the one that trips, but it seems that there's something stripping them over, and it might be the software. They're not sure, but they're leaning to the software, which is S&E, and they just need this consultant to come in and walk them through it and to find out what the problem is. It might be as easy as something programmed wrong, but we can't find it, and it's tripping everything out on weekends, on Saturdays.
So,
It actually tripped last night. I don't know why, but it did.
all right, so what do we need to take any action?
No.
No, just
Okay.
letting you know,
All right.
this is what's happening, and then that's it.
All right. Anybody? Yes?
I just have one question. I was wondering when we're going to start working on the emergency Black Captain program?
What?
The Black Captain?
I don't know, I don't have any time yet.
No?
I don't have any time.
I know you don't, but it doesn't matter. I can do a
You
lot
can
of
do it, but, you know, I mean,
What if I give you a proposal of some of the things I think that
I've
we
seen
can
some of
do?
your proposals, and you need to, you talked to Dave Silvernail about it, and stuff like that. My biggest concern on it, it gets set up, and when you need to call into action, it falls apart. How are you gonna maintain this thing, that it's a viable constant thing when we need it. That's my biggest concern.
Right.
You know, if we train everybody and they go out there, we don't have an emergency or crisis for 3 years, things change.
Right.
You know, that's my biggest concern. But we need to sit down and talk this out. I just don't have any time right now.
Because I have 3 volunteers right now that are ready to go in different neighborhoods. And
These are your block captains?
Yeah, and I can get a lot more, but I need to just, you know.
Well, eventually this is going to cost some money.
What about doing this through the Council on Aging?
Well, I mean, through Jackie's effort, I mean, they did develop with the police department a call list, if I'm not mistaken, am I right? Of the seniors at most risk.
Right, and we sent police cruisers out to check on
Well,
them.
what about going through them to actually be the maintenance organization? And
Well, it's not so much for the shelter. They're talking about, Jackie's program is break the town up into
Yeah.
7 quadrants.
Right.
And somebody would check on people that are, you know, that need attention or need special needs out there. And that's what you're talking about.
Right, and actually
When a
to
crisis
go
happens.
to their neighbors and check on them, so if the police have to check, if they know that captain has checked on that immediate neighborhood, then it's one thing they don't have to worry about. And then also, at that time, communication, so that people know what's going on. That's the other thing.
Well, what about going, again, my point is, Council on Aging might have somebody, they might, you know, have someone in every neighborhood and use them as the group that maintains it, because they have invested interest.
I'm not opposed to it. I think we need to work it out and set up a
Council
format.
on Aging, people come to the senior.
Yeah, but they have a vested interest in making sure, for the most part, these are seniors that we're going to be checking on. They have a vested interest, they know these people.
You're talking about the county Council on Aging?
No, our Council on Aging, setting it up through them.
Well, I think they ended up doing a call list too, didn't they, on people that were at risk.
Right.
But I mean, they're the ones who know who's who, or may know who's who.
Right.
Who needs help in that. What about just asking them to start and see if they have an interest in it?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great idea.
I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm just trying to say that I think it's a great endeavor, but like anything else, it's going to be labor intensive. Make sure everything is what your expectations are going to be, because things fall through the crack unless you have ongoing drills or how would you say it, games to simulate, you know, an event. And then it costs money, you're taking continuous times.
But you could also do it quarterly, and you could actually maybe get the almoners involved, if there's a need, if there's a need.
It takes time, and it's also going to take money.
The first Saturday of every quarter, you just run the
You
drill.
volunteering to set it up, be my guest.
Sure, all I got down my way is cows.
Good. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about working with Jackie and set the thing
Why
up.
don't you have a drill with the cows?
All right.
I'm not opposed to it, Jackie, I just don't.
Whatever you can put together on your own.
If you need help, Jeff,
Okay.
let me know.
All right.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Anything else before I take that motion? All in favor, goodbye.
Oh, I do have one thing. FYI, for your own business.
Oh, yeah, we gotta do this before anything. Can anybody go, I'm on vacation with my granddaughter from North Carolina on
I'm
August
sure I'm on
4th.
vacation, Eagle Scout Convoy. What day is it?
I'll go.
You'll go? All right. Because I can't, she's on.
I'm gonna sit down from the selectmen's duty and I'm gonna talk about a highway department grant. It's just a
Can we
quick
just
one.
make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I just want to let you know that I'm applying for a grant for a large 41,000 GVW dump truck. And the only thing that we're going to have to pay for the town is the plow and the frame for the plow and the truck, because they will not buy any snow fighting equipment.
How much does that cost?
What's that?
How much does that cost?
About 17,000, and the truck's 158,000.
Okay. Now I'll take that motion, Drew.
Second.
All in favor, goodbye.
Bye.
Right. Night.